Hey everybody, welcome back to Taryn's Books and Beyond and day 21 of VEDUS. Why did I just dab? Well, we're over halfway through this thing and I have to find some way to make these slightly more interesting. Anyway, first on the docket today is the Certain Point of View story, which is A Change of Heart by Wein. This one takes place from the perspective of one of Vader's personal guards. They're there to witness the interrogation of Leia all the way up to the destruction of Alderaan itself. Now, during the interrogation, when Leia says that the rebel base is on Dantooine, three major things happen. First off, the Imperial Guard realizes that they're the only person to see that she's lying. Secondly, they realize that they know she's lying because they would make the exact same kind of lie in a similar situation. And third, because of that, and because they realize that they're not going to tell anybody, they decide that they've essentially lost loyalty to the Empire, and between all this horrific stuff and siding with Leia in this small situation, they've essentially thrown their lot in with the rebellion. Now, this story, it doesn't quite sit right with me, and I think it's a matter of it being constrained by the canon. You'd expect the next chapter to be like this daring rescue, like something that happened in Force Awakens where Finn rescued Poe. You'd expect that this Imperial Guard would find Leia, free her, and get her out of there so they can actually join the rebellion and fight back against this Empire that they've suddenly lost all their loyalty to. But we already know that Leia gets rescued by Luke and Han, not some random guard. So because that has to happen, this guard clearly doesn't act on their change in loyalty. And in fact, we don't know if they did anything to help Leia. So it's like, sure, you don't like the Empire anymore, but if you're still working for them, unless you're able to escape at a different point to help the rebellion, well, first off, you still abandon Leia. But then they're not acting on their change of heart, and if they don't act on it, then it means nothing, and it really robs any emotional satisfaction from the ending that this could have had. Anyway, I also read the fourth act of Verily A New Hope, and that fourth act was quite fun, because as with the prequel trilogy, or I guess as with the original trilogy, and it was carried on to the prequels, because he wrote them in that order. Anyways, it's Act 4, so we're gonna get a little meta discussion. This one wasn't quite as metatextual as the others, but that worked to its advantage because it's basically one stormtrooper realizing, hang on a second, the droids who had the plans escaped on an escape pod that we didn't fire down because there are no signs of life. And now we're detecting no signs of life on this smuggler ship that we pulled into the Death Star. So is it possible that they're still on here even though we haven't detected any signs of life? And then his friend is like, nah, you're being crazy. There's no way they could be on there. And then they go on the ship and get killed because they were on there after all. We all knew that would happen. It's a really fun dialogue, and it's because it has a certain cadence and a certain pattern to it. Like, it's still iambic pentameter, but he does a lot of tricks with it. Like, he splits the verses in half so that one guard says the first half and the next guard says the second half, and they swap out between verses so that they're sharing the verses essentially. It helps it go by really quickly and gives it a certain kind of mood to it that makes it feel much more zany than the original movie. So this is what I'm expecting. This is what I like when he uses the Shakespearean style to enhance the situation, whether it's for comedy or whether it's for drama. And speaking of drama, the fourth act closes off on a really dramatic moment because it's the death of Obi-Wan. He gets a great monologue just before his death. It's got some really great parts. My favorite one is where he admits to himself that he can't bring himself to kill Darth Vader even if he could, because he can't shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, there's a part of the real Anakin still inside there. And I was like, oh my god, that makes so much sense, and it's so sad. And then right after that, the chorus is used really well too, because instead of us just seeing Luke going, no, at the death of Obi-Wan, it's the chorus telling us that he's doing that while they're escaping. And I'm just picturing it being staged, and it works really well because I can imagine instead of it being just like in the movie, it's kind of like this silent slow motion thing, and that holds way more impact than just shouting no could. And so it's a really great way to close off the act and a great way to get us geared up for the final act. And I'll leave you guys with that for today's update, but of course you can keep watching me vlog every day until Star Wars by checking out my social media or just subscribing to this very channel. And until tomorrow, I'll see you all later.